Alright, today we are going to begin the shocks upgrade on my 2012 RZR 800. This is an LE, so it's got the slightly upgraded rims. Wow, color match shocks. These stock shocks aren't that great, as witnessed by one trip to Rye Royal Blue. And that's what my Nerf bars ended up looking like after that. I don't even weigh that much, maybe 150. I'd already adjusted the factory shocks up 2 notches just to give them a little more clearance. And I think right now that I'm at about 9.5 inches clearance, but I'll get a tape measure out and we'll take a close look at that right here. Hard to get down here, but yeah, bottom of the skid plate is right about 9.5 inches, so that's where I'm bottoming out right now. And there's a lot of travel with the existing shocks. Just do a little bouncy bounce, get an idea of how low that thing goes. So the goal being to put these LTR 450 shocks on there, following the RZR form, using the spacer kit from Dr. Honda. Forgot to mention on the previous segment where I'm getting set up is that I also have some wheel spacers I'm going to put in place, so get them out and have a look at them. These are 1.5 inch wheel spacers. Bought them online. Aluminum. Got the nuts that aren't going to turn loose or strip on me the way that they're mounted in there. That's pretty important. 1.5 inch. I'm going to be mounting these on both sides as well. So we'll take a look at the overall width right now. Do our best with a tape measure. So, outside wheel to outside wheel is about 50 inches. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. And that's what we would expect to see. So, when we're done with... Okay, I loosen the lug nuts, and I'm going to jack it up, get those wheels off the ground, pull them off, and we'll take a look underneath at a particular... a bottle that's going to be in the way. It's written about a lot on the thread, so on the RZR forum. So I'll be attacking that as well. Sure we get under the frame. Okay, wheels are up, so I'll go ahead and position jack stands if necessary and take the wheels off. Alright, she's jacked up. Got one stand back in there just in case. Take a look here at these wheels, my wheel mounts. There's the shock that I'm going to replace, and I think this is the bottle that I'm going to find is the problem. And there's a lot of discussion about how to move it. The reason is there's a screw back in there that I think is holding it in place. And right there it is. There it is. Right there. So we're going to have to get a wrench in here. I'm going to move this bottle back that way by inserting a washer or two in there. I'll probably take a washer, cut, an opening in it, loosen that bolt, move the bottle, and then tighten the screw, and then not have to take the screw all the way out. So anyway, we're going to get busy taking the shocks off so that we can get ready to put our LTR 450 shocks in there. Here's the other site. I believe this is unobstructed over here, but we'll find out when we get into it. Also, these sway bar mounts here, down to here, that's probably just going to end up not being part of the equation anymore. That's coming off, and then the sway bar will be tied fast somewhere so that it doesn't flop around in there. But everybody says get rid of the sway bars, so the linkage has to come out and stay out. Using 15mm socket on either end of this guy, and I've already taken the top one off. That was also 15mm right there. That bad boy came off. Loosening this guy. Did we get enough play here to get the swing arm out? I want to be careful while we do this stuff. Make sure nothing just flops down or bounces all of a sudden under the tension of this guy. Get this bolt nice and loose. The swing arm will come out. It's not a swing arm, but you know, linkage to the sway bar. And then can work on getting this nut or this bolt out of the picture here. It's pretty loose. Doesn't look like anything's really going to go berserk when I pull it out. So just trying to do this with one hand on the camera. It's not that easy. Let's see if we can't use this device here. We'll just lift a little, pull it out. There's a little bit of play, but not a whole lot. And the lower end of the shock is loose. So next we'll disconnect it up here, and then we'll have this puppy out. Another 15mm socket, got the bolts out of place, and there is the factory shock. You know, probably a little over 100 miles on it. Doesn't really look like it's in too bad a shape. Awful springy though. Remember the evidence. Right there, man. That's some nasty rocks. So this guy's out. There's the lower mount. Here's the upper mount right there. And there's the bottle that's going to have to get moved back that way a little bit.
As you can see here, the bolt is going to have to be changed out due to the removal of the
sway bar linkage?
Sway bar linkage.
Yeah, so that's the upper bolt, right?
Right, upper bolt's here.
Smaller mount. The lower bolt has room for the sway bar linkage, and obviously we'll not be able to nuzzle up against that, so we're going to have to go get some smaller bolts for the lower end of this thing. Setting is the spring. Right here we're going to work for 10 5/8 length, end of spring to end of spring. There you can see we're right about at it. So these are both adjusted here. Otherwise, loosen the top one, turn the spring to get to the right distance, tighten the top one back up.
Okay, next up we have to set the rebound on the front shocks. The rebound is at the top. You do not mess with the outer collar. You leave that in place. All we're going to do is just take the adjustment screw. We're going to bottom it out. I'm going to count how many it was before, just to give a baseline. That was that one turn, half turn, 2 turns, 2.5 turns, 2 3/4 is what it was set at. I'm going to set it at 1/2 turn out. That's what I've came up with. I think it's probably the something everybody wants to play with, but we're going to start at a half.
This is for use on a razor.
So there it is, 1/2 turn out.
Okay, so that one's set.
Rebound is set.
All right.
All right, next we're going to set the compression. Compression on the LTRs is down at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and set that at 1 turn. I am going to baseline it and check where it's at now.
So you're going to take it all the way in.
Take it all the way in. That's 1 turn.
Bad thing on these is to take it too far out.
2 turns.
Fumble.
Fumble. So that's, yeah, about, I think it was at the standard adjustment. We're going to take it 1 turn out for a standard razor. So half turn, 1 turn.
All right, done. All right, these are the spacers necessary to get these LTR 450 shocks to sit well in the mounts on the razor. Right. So we're going to open these up. Bought these from Dr. Honda, right on the thread there. So go ahead and open them up top. Let's have a look at those. And we're going to use those to basically pack these into that mount. We'll give you a look at that when we're done. Okay, so we can see there's the bottle and this shock. To get up inside that housing, we got a little problem right in here. So this is where we're going to have to move that bottle back some so that we have a little more room here to get this shock to get up nestled in there.
Alright, as you can see, we got the 10mm bolt now. Here it is installed, here it is uninstalled. You got a little bit of threads here on this side, but that's going to be inside the bushing anyways.
Yeah, and then you can see the Dr. Honda spacers.
Yep.
Right in there. Let's travel up shock. Then you can barely make out those spacers in there. There they are. I haven't tightened any of that up yet. This is still an issue here. We're going to position the water bottle now. We got some new hardware to take care of that. It's a little bit maddening with the original stuff. On my RZR, you're trying to work with this little guy right here. And I put that nut on there just to see if I could use it as a spacer, but there's just not enough screw there to go through the housing and to bite tight. So I went and bought some, I guess 3/4 inch and 1 inch. Yeah, I think these are number 10 by 24 bolts. So we're going to use those and push that water bottle out of the way. More